With all the obvious fakery that's taken place with the International Space Station, I want to go back in time a little bit. Let's take a look here. The supposed landing on the moon with the Apollo 11, which is nothing more than a big joke, not only on America, but the whole entire world. Take a look at these supposed astronauts. I mean, they're completely transparent. Let me put pause here for a second. You can see the supposed horizon right here behind the astronaut, or right through the astronaut, I should say. And it's a complete joke. I mean, the horizon looks like it's about 20 feet away. And again, you can see fairly right through them. Now, continue on to today. Again, there's nothing new under the sun. Look at this one supposed astronaut. You can see right through him here at the very end. He becomes transparent. I mean, this is just a sick joke that they're playing. I mean, this is obviously just the so-called elite, those behind the scenes, just putting little Easter eggs in here, mocking those that believe in the International Space Station and mocking those that know that it's nothing more than a joke. It's all CGI, special effects. That's all it is. As I stated many times, ISS is nothing but a hoax. It does not exist. Everything you see here is either in a zero-G plane or just on Earth. And all it is CGI, like I showed with the supposed astronaut and the transparency, going back to Apollo 11 and more recently. Now with this footage here, just taking a look at supposed astronaut Scott Kelly wearing a gorilla suit. So you're going to tell me, before they load up these clowns to go into supposedly outer space to ISS, they're going to load up this gorilla suit, they're going to load up this canopy to hold this man in. How about showing some footage of them constructing ISS, which we've never seen? Complete insult, complete joke. The billions and billions of dollars over the years, more like $1 trillion spent on the supposed space program, sucking the taxpayers dry, and all they give us is this garbage. Complete joke, a complete insult. Now, people talking about garbage, just take a look at ISS and this phony baloney CGI. Now, again, clowning around in space. Now, people buy this. They look at this, the average person. They think, oh, they're just having a little fun. Again, how about showing some footage of them actually constructing this supposed ISS? We never get that. Does it never happen? More of the same here. There's that clown right here. Deceiver, fraud. And just take a look at this footage of Tim Peake being chased by Scott Kelly in the gorilla suit. Put it in slow motion and you can see the transparency at the very end. Coming up right here, you're going to see some transparency. A little bit right here. I'm going to pause it right there. Now let's take a look right here. Back it up a little bit. You can see right through him. What is the deal with this? Someone want to explain this? Back it up here. You can see this, whatever it is, right through him in this footage. So I showed already 2 clips of transparency through these supposed astronauts. Definitely fakery taking place. And besides the obvious fakery with the supposed astronauts being transparent in space, let's take a look here at the Brit Awards.
On board the International Space Station. She's taken the world by storm.
Tim Peake, supposed astronaut, they have him in this, this phony baloney tuxedo. And you're going to tell me they're going to, pack up all their equipment, they want to do all their experiments supposedly in space, and they're going to pack up this garbage. They're going to pack up this phony tux. They're going to pack up all these cameras, a gorilla suit with that canopy, the guitar with Chris Hadfield, chessboards, the phony baloney ball Earth. I mean, all these gadgets and gimmicks. What do they have? Whoopee cushions in space? They have Easter eggs. They have these stuffed animals, these toys. And I'm taking a closer look at this, and this is nothing more than mockery. Take a closer look. First thing I see, you see the owl symbolism. Of course, the Illuminati owl. And notice also the white rabbit. Going down the rabbit hole. Another topic I want to touch upon is a previous video I made. I'm going to play after I'm done with this part of the presentation. It's astronaut Don Pettit with angry birds and pigs in space. Complete joke. I'm going to, again, play this video. And all this guy does is mocks his audience. He's in space, supposedly. He's talking like, to the general public, like he's talking to a bunch of idiots. It's a complete insult. I'll play that clip now. With this so-called astronaut, Don Pettit, mocking an audience during a presentation, showing photos. He shows some astronauts supposedly in space. It mentions how it looks like they never left the planet. And then he talks about how it looks like they have nothing but a fancy backdrop in the back. Complete mockery. These idiots in the audience can't tell they're being mocked. Complete joke. Take a look.
Pictures of all your crewmates and they look perfectly normal to you. But when a picture like this gets down on Earth, you get instructed to take a picture like this. And astronauts are really, really good at making pictures in space that look like you've never left the planet. In fact, it's almost hard-pressed to tell whether you're in space or not in this picture. You know, we've got some fancy backdrops, I guess.
And Don Pettit, again, mocking the viewers, talking to them like they're complete idiots, because he knows he's not really on the ISS during this presentation of angry birds and pigs. You can clearly hear the jet engines in the background. They do these quick clips because these zero-G planes they use during these demonstrations, they only can last about 45 seconds. That's it. And also pointing out the occult, you can see the X behind him in this shirt. You see that triple X. Numerology, triple X is 666. Just like triple X porn, just like Fox News, all about the occult with these deceivers. I'm going to play this demonstration video that he has, completely talking to the audience again, to the listeners like they're complete morons. Take a look.
I'm Don Pettit. I'm a NASA astronaut, and I'm on the International Space Station. We're currently about 240 nautical miles above the surface of Earth. Space Station is a serious place. We're doing serious research, scientific research and engineering research. We have a regenerative life support system, which is a fancy way of saying that we've got a toilet that you use and then a machine that goes chugga, 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 chug, and then you go to the galley and you make yourself a cup of coffee. And that's exactly what you are thinking it is. And this is the kind of engineering research that we're doing on Space Station. It's needed so that when we go to Mars, we won't run out of water. And of course, not only would you have angry birds if you ran out of water, you'd have angry human beings too. I want to do some physics demonstrations that involve some of the things you might see in the Angry Birds game. And of course, I've got my angry bird here, but we need a pig. Well, I'm not very good at art. It's a good thing I decided to be a scientist and an engineer instead of an artist, because I'd probably be starving by now. Okay, here is Pig. And of course, Pig is the arch enemy of Angry Bird. And Angry Bird had some eggs. And Pig stole the eggs. And don't ask me how I got the eggs on Space Station. I've got a bungee spread across the hatchway. And this bungee is kind of like a slingshot. And I'm going to show the trajectory that Redbird is going to have when I fire him with this orbital slingshot. Launching Redbird into space. Well, hey, we're already into space. Whoa, look at that. Whoa, all the way down. That's an example of a trajectory. It's a straight line from our perspective here. Gravity will attract an object if it's moving in a straight line, and it will no longer move in a straight line. It gets bent and it goes in a curved trajectory. And guess what? Astronauts have to worry about these things, because if you're in a rocket and say you're trying to get from one orbit and rendezvous a space station, you end up going in curved trajectories, and you need to know how to fire your rocket engines so that you can go from where you are to where you want to be. And if you understand the math, if you understand the physics, it will allow you to go out and get a neat job. A job sort of like mine, where you're an astronaut and you can fly in space. Learn about these subjects in school. You can also learn about these subjects while you're playing games. What happens when something like an angry bird gets their eggs stolen by Pig? This is all that's left of Pig after Pig got exploded. And we got to see all of this in a weightless environment, which is what the Angry Bird space game is going to be like, with gravity fields from planetary bodies.